Okay, so for anybody who's curious about what's holding that rope up on the other side, because I have removed the centerpiece that I had up on the top because we were going to have to do it anyway. So what we did was I just took that centerpiece and mounted it right there. So that's why you see me kind of flipping the rope. It's in the middle of the building, and it's a lot easier when I'm making my swing across the building than it was when it was on the top of the roof. Because as I got closer and closer to the top, it became more and more of an issue. And that last whole roll on the top, I ended up just scooting across the ridge on this side. Hopefully I won't have to. Well, I'm still going to have to at some point on this side as well, but on the other side as well. But that's what's holding me up. That's actually part of the security, the safety harness that I bought. That's part of the whole bracket. And get one. If you're going to work on a roof, use it. It's Tuesday morning after or on vacation here. And after the last couple of days of being on the roof, I'm kind of thankful to be working on the ground today. So I got to get these sheets pre-drilled. I guess there's two schools of thought on it. The screws that I have are self-tapping screws. Clean this mess up. So there's actually no reason to really pre-drill them, except for the fact that they the angle of the roof that I have up there, it'll be a lot easier, I think, to slide these up and already have the holes drilled and be able to set them right away. And what I'm going after here is a 1-inch lip hanging over the edge of the OSB, all the way over the edge of the fascia. And then with that in consideration, this side of the roof, each piece needs to be 15 feet 4 inches. Took that measurement yesterday while I was up there. I need to measure the other side though, because I want to make sure I'm right on both. So I can cut the 10 sheets for one side. It'll be 10 sheets or 9 in a partial sheet per side. But I want to make sure that I have everything set up. And with that 15 feet 4 inches, that gives me about maybe an inch away from the very top of. Actually, that takes me all the way to the top of the OSB, which gives me about 2 inches of a gap on the ridge line. That the ridge cap will cover and come down, which is more than enough because this ridge cap comes down to roughly 6 inches or more on each side. It's a 14-inch ridge cap widthwise. And I do have one other piece of ridge cap ordered, but my big thing is going to be supporting these sheets nice and level so I can get them drilled. We'll have to see what I can figure out here. Usually I have a lot more boards around than this. 2x6 and maybe another 2x6 if I have it. I don't know if I've got another one this long or not. I got a couple of long 2x4s. Hey, you're not a guinea hen, knock it off. Maybe I'll do that. A couple of long 2x4s. It was a bit chilly this morning too. Maybe 38. That's a little short. It's gonna fall. There we go. Got a lot of new viewers lately, a lot of new subscribers, and I've had quite a few comments on my choice of outdoor wear. Specifically this, right? So I bought this kilt years ago. I've had it for probably about 15 years. I bought it when I used to go to Celtic festivals in California, mainly the Sonora Celtic Fair. And So I dress up, you know, like all the other people would, and have a ton of fun wearing it. And I realized that I never wore the stupid thing, and up here in Alaska we don't have a whole lot of those. So I said, what the heck, I'm going to wear this a little bit more, just because I have it, and it's so comfortable. It's ridiculous. So I wear it pretty much all the time when I can. I don't wear it when I'm on the roof, obviously. You know, people don't need to see that in their life. But that is what I'm wearing. I guess it kind of shocked me, the number of people that really had some negative comments about it. These are my old ramps for the snowblower. Might be a little big. That'll work. That's a little nicer. These were the concrete forms I used for the pads on the stairs. Alright. Might screw those down just to give them a little more stability. One of the other things I have to do is I have to trim the edge of this roofing, because I wasn't quite sure what I needed lengthwise, but I knew that the 2x10s that I originally purchased for the rafters were 16 feet, and then I trimmed those off, so I ordered these sheets at 16 feet. So I got a new tool that works with this that should make trimming those up pretty easy, and I'll put the cut pieces up towards they'll be hidden by the ridge piece. The other thing is, I've got rain coming in on on Thursday, and today's Tuesday, so that gives me today and tomorrow of dry weather. All I'm trying to do here is build a stable base. So when I pick those sheets up, I can get them to lay pretty flat. Give me a chance to have a decent edge to cut on, and then not have to worry about them curving too much. Another question that keeps coming up is off of the video, Man with Zero Experience Builds a Cabin Off-Grid in Alaska. The big video that I just did that a lot of new people are from. Is that there's no way this guy didn't have any knowledge, any experience, and I didn't. And I still don't have much. I was just talking with Todd, and Todd's been one of the guys that's helped me on occasion here. He helped me put the rafters in on the roof. He helped me yesterday. So that'll be, I guess, last week's video by the time you see it. He helped me, you know, with all the stuff that requires two people to do in a lot of this. And I guess I have a lot of knowledge on how something is built because I was really a fan of architectural drafting in high school. I took like 4 years of it. I loved it. It was a blast. So from drawing out a whole bunch of different house plans Hey, hey, Guinea, hey, that's enough. From drawing out a whole bunch of house plans, I learned, the difference between 16-inch on center, 24-inch on center, that kind of stuff. So I kind of knew that going in, but I'd actually never done it. So a lot of reading, a lot of watching a ton of different YouTube videos and YouTube channels and how people built, and then kind of tweaking it myself for what I wanted to do. But yeah, I had no real experience going into this at all. None, really. I mean, I worked out of high school for a foundation company, for a construction company, where mainly what I ended up doing was digging holes. So I wasn't really building anything, but I was digging some pretty big holes. And then I worked as a hod carrier one summer, carrying brick and mixing mortar for a guy that was building foundations. But again, I didn't really do anything but be the grunt. And then, like anything that you normally do around the house, you want to... I never built a deck. I never framed a house. I never did anything on a roof. But I do have some restaurant knowledge as far as construction goes, meaning how to run gas lines, that kind of stuff, just because I grew up in a bakery restaurant environment my entire life, and was a professional baker by trade. So when Dad would buy a bakery, we'd run new gas lines and all that stuff. And I'd run some basic 110 wiring. That's about it. But yeah, no experience doing this at all. Just a willingness to learn. I am going to take my tape measure and run it in a couple of more locations on that roof, though, before I get all this measured out for cutting. Because I want to make sure that I'm the 15.4 with the inch overhang total all the way along that side of the roof. That there's no variance, because, when you've never done something like this before, you make a lot of mistakes. And one of the mistakes I've made has been squaring this place up. I had to fight that on a couple of issues. The rafters were one of them. And I think that's why when we put the back fascia on the other day, Todd and I, it was so much easier to get a perfect 9/12 pitch on that fascia, because that's where we started. And so everything back at that back, I worked from the back forward on the rafters. So when we put that first one in, we cut everything to a 9/12 with the bird's mouths where they're supposed to be, and everything was absolutely the way it was supposed to be. And it was much tighter. And another thing that messed me up was when I put the loft in, I locked the walls to where they were. Well, on that back wall, it didn't matter, right? So unfortunately, I ended up a little bit out on the side walls, and we ran into some problems with the rafters getting them measured and cut right, because I had already secured the whole loft in there. And this front wall is like a 1/2 inch out as well. So I just want to make sure that everything squares up nicely before I make all these cuts. But here's what the roof looks like. This is the color I chose. Beautiful. Gosh, it's really, really pretty. I'm going to get some gloves, though, because I don't want to pick up this metal without having gloves on, because I will cut myself. I know I will. So to get the drilling pattern on the sheets, on the panels, I did the same thing I've done for this whole project, and that was watch a lot of videos. And I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be one. I guess the main gist of my channel started so my kids could see what their dad was doing in Alaska, my grandkids. But hopefully, when I make a mistake, you won't. You'll see what I did wrong, and you'll go, oh, no, don't do it that way. Don't do it the way Sean did it. So, these go the other way around. Guess it doesn't matter as long as I think about it. first sheet up here. Uh-oh. Decide how we're going to make this work. Really use something back here. I might have to build some quick sawhorses to give me another bit of support back here. So basically there's two ridges on here. Let me slide this back and I'll show you. And this is from the video that I watched. And I'll zoom the camera in down here so you see what I'm talking about. So this is what they call a 5-rib roofing panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look at it right here, this one comes down on a flat. Okay? This one doesn't have the tab on the side. So this is the one that lips over the previous piece. In my case, I'm going to do, this is my outside edge. This is my inside edge on this side of the roof. So that every piece that comes, I wonder if I got a short piece here. Let me see if I got a short piece of green over here and I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So this side has the lip. This other side does not. So I don't want to go like this, lip to lip. What I want to do is I want the next piece to go lip on the bottom to no lip on the top, right? And then I'll run a course of screws right here along this edge, 2 feet up, 2 feet on center, all the way along this rib, and then I'll just keep doing the same thing on every rib with a few more, like every single on both sides of the ribs here on the bottom. If you have a high area of wind, you don't want this seam to be, from what I've read, what I've seen, you don't want this seam to be with your wind coming this way. If you can, you want to, in my case, I would have to build for the back up so that my seams would all be facing the other direction. So in my case, I'm surrounded by trees on 3 sides of the cabin, and this is the only part that really gets a lot of frontal wind, and I don't get a lot of frontal wind here. I don't get a lot of wind coming in. I'll get some, but generally it's not that bad, and I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue because our rainy season in the fall is relatively short before it turns to snow. So I'm not really worried about, originally I was going to go from the back to the front, but I really want the front to look nice. You don't really look at the back of the house, right? Unless you're in the backyard. So that's why I've opted to have the seam over right here on this one. I'm going to get these cleaned up and get these stacked up, and then we'll measure them out. I need a towel to wipe them down. I'm going to take a break on this for right now. Todd just called and he needs a hand over there, so he's actually putting metal on the roof right now. I'm going to go over there, give him a hand, and that'll teach me a little bit about how to do this. That's the other thing I did, was whenever somebody's doing something, I try and help them so I can figure out how to do it myself. So we'll get back to this when I'm done over there helping Todd. Let me put the camera and everything away. So change of plans. Went over and was helping Todd. We got half of his roof on. Todd, Brian, Cindy, and then Todd called me, and that's when I ran over there to give him a hand, and myself. And Brian came up with a suggestion. Let's just do half of Todd's roof today and half of Sean's roof today, and then tomorrow we'll do the other half of Todd's roof, and then we'll do the other half of Sean's roof. And Todd was like, yeah, because I don't really want to be on top of my roof for the rest of the day doing the other half right now. So I am going to cut these pieces to length. I need 10 per side. And then we will go ahead and get them drilled, and then they're going to be over here. So I'm getting half the roof on today. And 15 feet 4 inches. There's 15 feet 4 inches. And I've got another tape measure. I'll just do it that way. Right. I got a chance to try out the new tool. So this is a Malco set of shears that hook right up to your drill. If anything, when this project's done, Sean will definitely have enough tools to do something like this again. Let's see how well it works on this. It worked really good over long ways on Todd's. Kind of a hassle doing it that way. I don't know if this will work the other way too. I'm going to get the rest of these cut and get them stacked up. I'll cut them as I stack them here, and I need 10 sheets for this side of the cabin, and then I'll get them all lined up on that end that's not cut, and then I can get them pre-drilled. Oh, here, the green ones? No, the green ones are mine. Oh, here they are. Right here, Brian. All right. Looks like the roof is starting right now. So the panels are cut. The panels are pre-drilled. And then I got Todd and Brian over helping. We broke the scaffolding down and worked around the back so they could hold the reveal outside edge for me. And the first piece is the toughest one to shake out. So as soon as we get that squared out, we'll be flying right along, and I'll probably time lapse more than I'll do anything else with this.
Were you time lapsing it?
No, I didn't time lapse it. I will on the next one though.
I took a couple pictures and sent them to you.
Oh, nice. We have 4 panels in place. 5th one's getting ready to go up. Need to take a break and get water because I'm sweating like a hog up there. But so far, so good. I'll go ahead and I'll run the time lapse before I get up there the next time. But it's kind of tough to operate the camera and be on the roof at the same time. So. Oh. Half the roof done. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. And the time lapse worked out perfectly because I just watched it and it got me all the way to the point where we put the last partial piece on, and then Todd tied the rope off to my sonotube on the bottom. I pulled it up with the other one so I could slide down on the other side because we're going to have to move the connection to this side to do the other side of the roof now. But super, super excited. Got a lot done today. Todd got half of his roof done, and yours is 40 feet.
Yeah, mine's 64 feet, or 68 feet.
68 feet of roof, and each sheet was 23 feet.
23 feet, 10 inches.
Yeah, almost 24 feet, and he got half of his roof done today too. This is awesome. We got one more day before the weather changes on us, so hopefully this will work again tomorrow. We'll get the other half of Todd's roof on, and then the other half of my roof on, and then life will be great. Life will be fantastic. That's it for me for right now. It doesn't matter though too, right? No matter how much you try and protect yourself working with metal, it's not bad. Just a scrape that bled a lot, but you always cut yourself with metal. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. So we got Todd's roof completed. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The guys will be here at about 3. The other side took me about 2 hours to do, so hopefully we're going to have the same. Same timeline. So I need to figure out right there, same thing. Yeah, 15'3" is what I'll call this one. So I'll have to get my panels trimmed up, drilled, and ready for those guys when they come over. Putting my magic shoes on, we're ready to go.
Stand a couple up over there.
All right, Jim showed up from Woolly Wire No Adventures. Jim, say hi.
Hi everybody.
Todd's here. Everything's drilled, everything's ready to go, and I'm probably not going to film much of this side, mainly because where the trees are, you really can't see through there like you could the other side. But it's pretty much the same thing we did yesterday, just on the other side. I'm going to put on my magic roofing shoes and we'll be good to go. Live and in person. Nice. So no ridge cap right now because I don't have all the pieces to do the whole thing and I don't have the screws. But I'm double layered on the top of this, so it should be fine. I'm Sean in Alaska. Thanks for watching, guys. Have yourself a great week. We'll see you next week. So this guy just decided to fly in. It's a young eagle. The ladies are not happy. You should look around because there's like a brother or a sister here too. Hey, Red, you should probably move over there with the other ones. Are you the sacrificial chicken? He's just sitting up there. See him? He's up at the top of that dead tree right there. It's one of Todd's kids. I'd say I got that roof on none too soon, right? Very good timing. God, I hurt. I am so, my muscles are so whacked out right now.